9 unique gift ideas for your real estate business. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Novarise, your channel for financial education. So today is that time of the year we're going to talk about gifts, right? Because it is that time of the year we'll all have to go out and buy gifts for family members or spouse, friends, you name it, right? But if you happen to be tuning in at a different time of the year, don't skip the video so fast because hey, you might be in the market looking for gift ideas for birthdays, for anniversaries, and why not? Maybe even Valentine's. So make sure you stay here and you watch this list all the way to the end because these are products that we hand select for you that we have tested throughout the year and have done wonders for our real estate business, and you should be taking advantage of that. Aside from that, we actually have a nice surprise prepared for you, but you will only find out about it at the end of the videos. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into the list. So item number 1 that we're recommending you to buy, it's a water meter, okay? Yes, very important, a water meter. So for those following us for quite some time, you will notice that a couple of months ago, we interviewed Pascal Cortes. And in that video, he talked about the importance of filtering the water before it gets to your property. Because if you're getting dirty water in, not only your guests are consuming bad quality water, but also your furniture gets worn down a lot faster and they're harder to maintain clean, quote unquote, and that you can clean all you want, but if the water is not clean, it will still give the appearance of, having dirty furniture, right? So what I'm going to do is just to let Anthony walk you through the product in itself because he actually knows a lot more details about it.
By the way, I am not an expert at this. I just have some knowledge about what's good and what's bad. And especially right now that we're going to use these items to measure our water. Just to give you a little bit more of explanation about what each one of these meters do, the most important one out of these two is going to be the TDS meter. What does TDS stand for? It stands for total dissolved solids. And I'm going to walk you through the first one, which is going to be the blue one. What it does, because it's going to be the most important one, not so much the pH, but the first one, I'm going to show you how it works and what it does, right? So as you can see out of the box, the blue one, you can turn it on like the same way you do it here. Okay, it says some numbers, 0000. So what does that mean? I'm gonna show you a graph in the screen that is gonna allow you to see what's a drinkable water versus what's not. What's the quantity of ppm? If you can see right here, ppm stands for parts per million. And if we go here, and I'm gonna show you an example of how dirty a water can be. This water is a tap water, and the ppm for this tap water is 116. Usually non-drinkable water, if you get more than 300, it means that you shouldn't drink that. Just imagine right now, this is tap water, NYC tap water. So as you can see right now, it's pretty high, it's about 118.
So the water that you actually see here, it's the remainings of filter water. So we have a water filter, which we'll eventually talk about that one too, that extracts all impurities out of the water that comes out of, tap water. And so what happens is we actually left the water here just for a couple of days, not paying any mind to it. And look at what it did to our cooking pot. Not very nice. So even if that filter, it's marking 115 out of 300, I will not drink that water because look at what it did to our cooking pot. So imagine what it will do to your water pipes if you let water that has been either unfiltered, untreated, call it whatever you want, through your pipes. And look, these are your pipes right now if you don't filter that. So good. What this tool allows you to do is just to measure the particles that are in there so that hey, maybe this water coming into my property needs to be treated.
And not just that, it can be the water that you are actually drinking.
Or touching your skin.
Imagine yourself bathing yourself every day with this type of water. Imagine what is doing that to your skin. And like I said before, because you might be thinking, okay, what's the yellow device for? It's just to calculate the amount of pH levels in water. So I highly recommend this product.
Thank you, Anthony, for clarifying. One thing I think I didn't mention, the way we're going to share the list with you is that we're going to start off with the most affordable product all the way to the most premium pricing product. So there you go, you got list number 1. So now let's move on to product number 2, and that is a paper shredder. Not just any paper shredder, but the paper shredder. So this year we have killed 2 paper shredders so far. Why? Because I am very impatient, and every time I want to try to shred something, I put a bunch of paper in it, and I have literally just killed the machines off. Like, they are trying really hard to like shred through the pile, and then halfway through they cannot work anymore. So we don't want to keep dealing with that. So Anthony here did a nice search all throughout Amazon, and finally found the paper shredder that can handle massive amount of paper and help us destroy that. How is that any relevant for you? It is very important, right? Because every time you close on a house, every time you close on a mortgage, you deal with things that are very confidential to you, right? So we're talking about your social security, your address, your actual signature. You don't want to have paper laying all over the place. So you have to make sure you shred those out before you even throw that away. And let's say you haven't bought your first property yet. It doesn't matter. Things as simple as your mail should be shredded as well before you toss them out. Why? Because it contains something that is very, very unique to you, and that is your address, right? You don't want your address laying out over there, throwing out mail with your address, because you don't know what strangers may stop by and just, hey, check out this address. So now I know this person lives here, and I'm gonna be ordering like weird stuff or like steal your identity or something, because it all starts with one piece of information and then the rest just follows through. So maybe they're starting with your address. Next thing could be your debit card. Next thing could be your credit card. Next thing could be your social security. So make sure you shred all your documents before you even think about getting rid of them.
And I'm just gonna say this, for all the products that we're gonna mention in this video, the links are gonna be in the description below.
So now let's continue. Item number 3, and that is this amazing box that you see here called a hotspot. I know for some of you it might be like, oh, I already knew what that was. But to me, it was like mind-blowing because I didn't know what it was, right? So for those who are just being introduced to the concept of a hotspot, this is basically internet on wheels, right? We do travel a lot, we go to a lot of conferences, and sometimes we want to get access to our email, sometimes we need to approve videos for you to watch and stuff like that. And you know, the internet from the hotels, they're not the best sometimes. So that's when this machine or this box right here comes in really, really handy, because it allows you to get access to high-speed internet all across 50 states. Even if you are camping, you still have access to the internet to do the stuff that you need to do, whether it's checking emails, approving videos, or maybe just watching Netflix in the middle of camping. Why not?
So to add more details to this hotspot, you're not only going to get more security, because something that Lucila mentioned about going to a hotel, the hotel Wi-Fi is not secure at all. And if you even go to connect to the Wi-Fi, it will say connection not secure. So this one has a special VPN integrated with this that allows basically to mask your connectivity so you don't get hacked. For the ones that don't know what's a VPN, it's a virtual private network. So this one has already included, if I'm not mistaken, with this device. So it's really good. And on top of that, what I really like about this hotspot is that this, you can connect it to an Ethernet cable. If you don't know what's an Ethernet cable, it's just a connection that you can make from here all the way to your computer, so you can increase the speed of the internet that you are gonna get. If you connect the hotspot to your computer wirelessly without any cable, usually it tends to be slower. But if you connect this to the Ethernet cable, the speed of the internet is gonna increase by 2 times. So that's gonna be very essential. At the same time, it charges fast right here, and it can serve as a battery charger. So if your phone is low in battery, you can actually connect your cable and charge your phone. And to add a little bit more to this, because you might be asking, okay, so if I buy this, I'm gonna get internet right away. The answer is no. You still need to buy a SIM card in order to make this work. And as you can see right here, that's gonna be the SIM card. You can just go to a carrier like T-Mobile. I purchased a prepaid SIM card, so I purchased 50 gigabytes for $60, which is really good. And I can just refill it as I wanted to. So it's not like a plan that you need to pay for that. So you just gotta make sure that you go to the right carrier to purchase this SIM card, okay?
Now, Next item on the list, and that is the water filter. Remember we talked about the water that was filtering this disgusting water that you saw in the cooking pot? Well, there is actually a water filter that you can definitely use that, not just for yourself or your own consumption, but it's great if you have an Airbnb, if you have an office where you get clients for your real estate business, because hey, everybody wants to drink water. Actually, having access to water is one of the most important things for Anthony and I, because we do tend to travel a lot, and when we do, in every single Airbnb, the very first thing we do is to look for a water filter. Why? Because we don't want to have to worry about carrying gallons of water. We do drink a lot of water, and at the same time, we don't want to deal with, plastic waste and stuff like that. So if you can manage to add one of these water filters into your Airbnb or rental or your office, believe me, you're gonna win points with your guests, with your customers, because now you're giving them purified water. It's not just any random water for a bottle. It's real water. It tastes delicious. I don't even know how to explain it, but it gives that sense of, hey, I'm drinking high-end water. They must be making a lot of money in this business, because otherwise, how would they get access to this delicious water? So now we took a really short trip to our kitchen. So this is the tank. You're gonna place all the tap water that you're getting from, the outside, and this will do its magic, and it will clean the water, and it will place all the consumable water all the way on this side.
And you can even see the difference between both. As you can see, this is the tap water and this is the clean water. You can see the different colors as well.
Now, just to show you how purified this water is, so we have the same tool. That was item number 1 on the list. And what we're gonna do is just to show you how clean this water is. So right now it's marking 0, but then as soon as we put that in here,
6.
Look how pure it is. Back then it was like what, 100 and something?
117, I think.
Yeah, I will not drink that water. And let's just, quickly proof the water that was left over from the filtering. 90. Better than the one from the pot, but still, you want it to be as low as possible. And believe me, the flavor, it's amazing. Now, back to the couch, and let's just proceed with our next item on the list, and that is the GoPro. Since you've been following us for quite some time, you probably might have seen a video where we actually did a demo of how we utilize the GoPro to basically check out areas that we want to invest. Why? Because when you're out and about and you're visiting new areas, your attention tends to be divided between driving or checking out the area. And you definitely do not want to be looking at houses while you're behind the wheel. So we figured out a way to leverage technology to do it. So what we did was to simply install the GoPro in our car, and then we just punch in the addresses of the areas that we want to go to, and we just focus on the road and pay no mind. And by the time we go home, that's when we download all that footage and we check out every single details about the area, whether there was a 99-cent store, a school nearby, whether any municipal parks or anything to that matter nearby the areas that we're looking to invest.
And so you might be asking yourself, I already have an iPhone. I have a phone and it has a great camera. That's right, but it doesn't compare to a GoPro. Here's why. Because the GoPro has great stabilization. So if you're moving your car and it's shaking all over the place, this is gonna make its magic and it's gonna look like it wasn't moving at all. As well as another characteristic that I like about the GoPro is that you can record with this at high pixels. What does that mean? For example, you can record at 2K, which is excellent because if you are driving and you want to zoom in certain things, like just to make sure you are seeing something correctly, you can do that with this footage of this GoPro.
All right, great stuff. So let's move on to the next item in our list, and that is this amazing security system from Arlo, right? So if you are either a homeowner or a real estate investor, you want to make sure that your properties are protected. If you are a homeowner, you want to make sure that your family is protected, right? So some of the common uses that I will say people will give this to is one, to make sure that you have eyes on your properties when you are away, just to make sure that your primary home, it's nice and safely protected. But if you have, let's say, for example, a multifamily, you want to make sure this is placed somewhere in the entrance just to make sure that your tenants are safe. You might want to have one of these placed in the common areas, in the hallways, just to make sure that there's no, strange business going on. And even business owners utilize things like this because you've seen some security footage, placed on top of the cashier, the register, in the event event that something happens and you need to do any insurance claims, you want to make sure that you can actually pull back the security footage just to prove that whatever happened was legit, right? And I know you have something else you wanted to show.
I have a lot to say about these cameras. The reason why I love them a lot is because it has different features. But what I like a lot about the Arlo cameras is that, for example, it has solar charges. And what does that mean? So if you go to the Arlo website, you're going to be able to find multiple cameras. And there are ones that you can literally just connect them outside of your house, right? And it has a solar battery that will charge your Arlo device without the need of breaking your walls, so you can install electricity in these cameras to make them work, right? So that's going to be very important. So you can buy that, which is great. And also, not only that, the feature of this camera that is amazing is that you can use your app, right? And if you're seeing someone doing something in your property and you're seeing it through your phone, you can actually talk through the app, and this will project your voice. So if, for example, you're seeing someone outside breaking your property, you can say something like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then they're gonna be scared because they're gonna think that somebody is actually there.
Well, you hope they'll get scared, right?
Oh, the big feature that I like is that it has rechargeable batteries as well. And these batteries last a long time. We're talking about 1 month, 2 months that this is going to last you. Obviously, it depends on how much movement there is in the area. If somebody's moving 24/7 there, probably the battery is going to last you like a week, most 2 weeks, but it still is great if you're trying to purchase this camera. One of the last things that I want to mention about the features of this Arlo camera is that in the app, if for some reason you see someone breaking in your property, you can just click on an option in that app and it will call the police automatically.
Now, the next item on the list, and that is a drone. Now, for all the realtors out there, having a drone is extremely important when it comes to, showcasing the property. You want to give your potential buyer that feel, that view of what it's like to be around in that property. What does the area in general look like? How does the house look like from the very top? Create that nice feeling and make yourself stand out from your competitors. Be more than the realtor who just simply shows the pictures inside of the property and then that's it. Show the video, show the driveway flying all the way from the very top and then look it down, making the house look majestic.
And if you need to make some repairs in the property, especially in the roof, you're not gonna get a ladder. Chances are like you're gonna fall. So you can use the drone just to drive it, to kind of like get a view of what's going on in the roof if something needs to be fixed. And that's great for that.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So I'm gonna just show you how the drone looks like. And the reason why we picked this one is because as you can see right here, very small. If I put it in my hand, it's this small. Right here, this drone, the weight is only 249 grams. And supposedly you don't need a license to drive this drone because it's under 1 pound. And I don't know how accurate is that. I never had a problem. I don't have a license and I've been flying my drone without any problem. So it's small and it's easy to connect to your phone. As you can see, just connect it to your phone with this cable and that's it. Just make sure whenever you are flying these drones, if you're gonna do it for the first time, just do it in an area that there's not a lot of buildings or cables because you might crash your drone like I did when I decided to fly the drone inside of a house. So not a good idea.
Now, the next item on the list, and that is the Raven scanner. This is by far one of my favorite products. And you might be thinking, yeah, but there's plenty of scanners out there. Why is this one so special? Well, the scanner, it's very special in a sense that it's computerless. You do not need a computer in order to make it work. So if you are a realtor, a contractor, even a notary who, runs around from, one person's house to another, helping them sign and notarize their closing documents, this scanner, it's for you. Because what typically happens, right? If you're trying to sign a bunch of paperwork, you will have to either meet that person at a Kinko's, at a FedEx, just like it happened with me when I was trying to close on a property in Alabama. I had to meet the notary in a FedEx just so I could sign the documents and then immediately scan those over to me. And it wasn't cheap. It was like 50 something dollars. But if you are in a business where you're actually very mobile, realtors, for example, are very mobile, notaries are very mobile, you want to have the scanner with you, because every time you sign a document, you don't have to worry about carrying all that paperwork with you in the car and then chancing losing it. And typically those papers that you carry in your car, they contain a lot of confidential information. Sometimes it contains people's social security number, their signature. So you want to be careful and try to eliminate accidents along the way. So this scanner, you can bring it with you. It's relatively small, as you can see right now on the screen. You can carry it with you, keep it in your car. And the beauty of this is that you can easily generate power from the comfort of your car. All you have to do is just to grab an adapter, connect it to the cigarette outlet, and then connect it into this scanner right here. And it will just do magic for you. And you won't even need a computer, because everything you scan in here is gonna be sent directly to whatever you want it to go, whether it's the Raven Cloud, your email, or even your Google Drive. And all you need to make that happen is to either have access to a hotspot, which we just happen to provide that to you, or connect it to the hotspot of your phone. So it cannot get any more practical than that. Now, what we're gonna do is just to quickly show you a demo of how fast the scanner works, because time is money. And once everything is scanned, you can actually choose to send it straight to your destination. You have the option to pre-select the destinations beforehand, so that way it's defaulted to have it sent out to everywhere you go. You can have it set up to, once again, the Raven Cloud or your Google Cloud, or just simply your inbox. And what we're gonna do is just to simply click on here, just to send everything to the destination. And the beauty of this is that you didn't have to be chained to your office or to your house in order to make this happen. Now, I wanna stop here and talk a little bit about the Raven Cloud, because this is an amazing feature that comes with the scanner. So most cloud services usually have a limit on how much information you can store, right? The amount of space that you're gonna get in your cloud per account, it's unlimited. So you will never have to worry about it ever getting filled up, or worry about deleting any special documents or special pictures that you have in the cloud, which is something that it doesn't happen with Google, because I believe Google actually limits you to what, 15 gigabytes?
15 gigabytes.
Yes. So once you exceed 15 gigabytes, you're gonna have to either delete documents or start taking stuff down. And when you're on the go and you're busy and you have to run to another appointment with another customer, you don't wanna worry about having to deal with that at that moment, right? So once again, it is unlimited. And another pro thing is that whatever information you choose to store, you don't have to pay a membership either. So you don't have to worry about every single month paying like $10 or $5, whatever. It all comes included with the scanner.
And just so we can clarify, it's only for the documents that you're scanning, meaning if you want to add videos, images, they're not going to allow you to do that. It's just paper. The paper that you scan, you're going to be able to store it in the cloud.
Now, another component I wanted to show you, and we need to go back to the main screen here. And this is a technology that is very unique to this one specific scanner, and that's their OCR technology. And OCR stands for Optical Character Recognition. So typically what happens is when you scan a document, the computer reads it as, a picture. And if you're trying to do a search through the folder, you cannot really do a search. It's not like when you open up a document and you do a quick Control F or Command F, depending whether you have a Windows or a Mac, you typically find certain text, right? But imagine having folders, multiple folders, thousands of documents, of scanned documents, and you're trying to remember, hey, do you remember that document that we stored months ago? Like, what's it called again? Like, sometimes you don't remember because you have a lot going on. So what this allows you to do is to search for those scanned documents, which, in the computer, they're read as picture. You can actually do a quick search and treat those scanned documents as an actual document and not necessarily as a picture. You can actually go ahead and do the try. Just try to open up a scanned document and try to do a Control F search. You won't be able to do any searches on that document. But thanks to the technology that comes with Raven, you actually can't do that. And all you have to do is just to simply go into the Raven desktop application and you will, get access to the magic that it comes with it. Now, moving on to our next product, and that is the iRobot, although I call it the iNova. So the iRobot is a smart vacuum, right? And who doesn't need a vacuum? But we're not all about homeowners and whether you want to clean or like to clean your house or not. No, imagine this. You are a realtor and you're getting ready for a showing. You walk into a house, you want to start showing it, and then you realize that the owner of the house, although they cleaned the house, they forgot to close the window. And now all of a sudden it's dirty all over. But your open house is about to get started in a half hour, but then you have to set everything up. You have to, bring your pamphlets, whatever is it that you typically do for your open houses. The last thing that you planned on was a dirty floor. But if you have one of these beautiful iRobots, all you gotta do is just to pull it out of your car, connect it to the house, let the robot go on their own, do their magic, clean up any surfaces, any dust, any leaves that might have fallen into the house while you continue to focus on preparing your setting for the open house. So now, if you're a bit more curious to learn about how you can actually set it out, well, you do everything through an application, and that's what Anthony's going to show you now.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you the app and just show you some of the features that I like personally. So what I like about the app is that you can customize where do you want the vacuum, the smart vacuum, to clean, right? You can clean your apartment, you can clean just the kitchen, or if you have something fragile somewhere, you can just tell the machine to not clean in that specific space. And that machine does that by recognizing whatever is in your apartment. For example, it will do a map of the areas that it can clean. On top of that, what I like about this that you can do in the app is you can schedule times. So for example, if you're gonna be away for a certain amount of time, you can say on Mondays, I'm gonna be off and I want this vacuum to go on automatically. And that's what's awesome about this smart vacuum is that you don't have to be present. And let's talk about opportunity cost because we've never talked about that. Assuming that you're a busy person and you are running a business, you're making money, cleaning your house, sometimes it can take away from your productivity and you can delegate that to a robot.
And it's cheaper too.
Yeah, and just to give you the last feature is that why we decided to purchase this one instead of all the other smart vacuums is because it has a container that every time that the machine or the vacuum is full, it will come to its home. That's what it's called. The container is its home, and it will drain all that dirt that it accumulated by
from the
cleaning.
bag that's located inside the
there
vacuum.
You go.
So the manual way for us is to, take out the bag, clean the dust, yada, yada, and then put the thing back on. But with the iRobot or iNova, we don't have to worry about that.
Correct.
And now on to the real fun part, right? So our friends at Raven, they actually contact us and they gifted us this scanner so that we can test it, create a nice video, recommending it to all of you. And they gave us the permission to actually give the scanner away as a giveaway for you. So what do you need to do to participate? Very simple. So all we need you to do is 3 simple steps, okay? So the very first one, we need you to comment down in the comment section down below, telling us which of these items did you like the most and why. Second, you're gonna go ahead and share this episode with someone within your circle who happens to be looking for holiday gifts ideas or just gift ideas in general. And 3, we will need you to follow us in our Instagram right here as you see it on the screen. So once again, just to recap, comment down below letting us know what you like and why. 2, share this video. 3, follow us on Instagram. The winner is gonna be announced in our Instagram account on December 15th at 12 p.m. New York time, which is Eastern time. So we can't wait to read your comments, to see you on Instagram. And while I still have you here, do not forget to check this video on the side that's gonna help you complement everything you just learned today. Until then, take care, bye-bye.